Hello and welcome to Selling Sheet Music, a podcast for composers, arrangers, and songwriters to learn more about publishing and marketing their sheet music. I'm your host, Garrett Breeze. Thanks for listening. ArrangeMe.com gives you free access to over 5 million copyrighted titles, allowing you to easily and legally publish your sheet music arrangements and your own compositions. Your works will be made available by the world's top sheet music retailers, including Sheet Music Direct, Sheet Music Plus, and MuseScore. ArrangeMe members have already earned over $7 million in commissions. And now, take the next step in self-publishing with ArrangeMe Pro. Pro offers additional features including expanded distribution, increased commissions, your own publisher page, and much more. Join the world's largest community of sheet music self-publishers by signing up today at ArrangeMe.com. Today, we are doing some more catching up with Scott Harris, the program manager for Hal Leonard ArrangeMe. I say catching up because a lot has happened since the first time he appeared on the show. Last week, we talked about the launch of ArrangeMe Pro, so if you missed that episode, you'll definitely want to go back and give it a listen. Today, we're going to talk about some of the other big newsworthy things that have happened in the past year, including the acquisition of Hal Leonard by Muse Group, the expanded distribution of ArrangeMe titles through the Pass program, and the redesign of the Sheet Music Plus website. There's so much happening in the publishing industry right now, and Scott is at the center of a lot of it. So it's always exciting to talk to him, and I think you'll get a lot out of what he has to say. Scott Harris, welcome back to the show. A long time no see.
Thank you. Good to be back. Such a long time. Mere moments.
For people listening, we're recording these two episodes back to back, but last week was the episode about ArrangeMe Pro, and today I wanted to catch up with Scott on more of a big picture level, all of the myriad of things that have been happening at ArrangeMe.
Yeah.
Just to kind of give you a rundown, if you haven't been paying attention. So since you first came on this show almost 2 years ago,
Yep.
we've had the launch of ArrangeMe.com, the integration of Sheet Music Direct, Noteflight, and Sheet Music Plus. We've had a redesign of the Sheet Music Plus website. We've added support for selling audio files. Hal Leonard got bought by Muse Group. We had the launch of ArrangeMe Pro, bringing titles into physical brick and mortar stores. We have the inclusion of ArrangeMe titles in Sheet Music Direct Pass and MuseScore subscription programs.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm doing my math right, you've added about 20,000 users to the site and another 1 million songs available for licensing. So first question, do you sleep?
That's good. Yes, I do. We have a great team. Ella Harpstead, our coordinator, is phenomenal. It's really her and she and I, and then Helena helps us with customer service. But Garrett, man, we've got the entire Hal Leonard team at our disposal. Developers, the whole Sheet Music Plus team, the whole Sheet Music Direct team. There's a lot of folks that contribute to these things that we dream up and execute, and we can't take all the credit. So, yeah, man, we work hard, and we have been working hard. Hearing that list is forgot about a lot of that stuff.
I hope you've gotten a raise or two in there.
well, I hope so too. I need to go check. I've been too busy working. Yeah, it's a lot, man, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface, buddy. It's an exciting time.
So, just scratching the surface. How big do you see this thing getting ultimately?
Sky's the limit, pal. Sky's the limit. As many folks as are out there, writing sheet music, arranging, composing, and putting it into this print music format, affixing a note to a page, the digital page. In fairness,
sure.
Yeah, man. I mentioned the last episode. I feel like this is still a pretty good kept secret. I meet people all the time that have never heard of it and that need to. I ran into an old session player friend of mine a couple of weeks ago here in Nashville, and he's done a lot of arranging in his career and stuff. He's one of these kind of top call guys in Nashville, and I hadn't seen him in a number of years, and he goes, "What are you doing now, man?" I was like, "I'm working for Hal Leonard." I told him about ArrangeMe. I give him, the 10-second overview, and he instantly got it. He goes, "Wait a minute. So you mean like all the stuff that I've been doing over the years?" He's like, "I can sell the sheet music." I'm like, "Yep." "And the licensing taken care of?" "Yep." He's like, "Can we get lunch?" I'm like, "Yep." So, yeah. So even guys that are doing it at the highest levels still aren't really familiar with the program. So that's why I say the sky's the limit, man. There's a lot of folks that haven't even signed up yet that we're real interested in. So yeah, it's an exciting time.
So what does ArrangeMe look like in 10 years? Let's start wildly speculating.
Wow, man. I'm so busy with that list you said. I don't know that I've even thought about 10 years ahead. I mean, we're a good 2 or 3 years ahead for sure. I don't know, 10 years. That would almost be detrimental to try to plan that far. There's a certain amount about being flexible and adapting to the market. But honestly, man, making this as good of an experience, the very best experience for self-publishers that possible, where folks don't even think about another option. That's really the goal. To be as compelling for any level of arranger or composer out there as possible. That's the end game, man. And it's ever evolving, buddy. So I feel like we're off to a pretty good start. If your list is any indication. So continue to keep our pedal on the gas and moving forward as efficiently and productively and as quickly as we can. I think it will be to our best interests. And boy, there's a whole lot of people that love it, man. Like I said, we've got a lot of success stories, and we plan to continue to share them and find out more. So.
There's kind of something really revealing in that answer that you just gave. I mean, I think it was a good answer. But just the thought that you can't have a 10-year plan because so much is changing in the industry right now. I don't think that's a dodge. I think that's the truth. And I think from conversations I've had with other publishers, I get the same sense.
10 years ago, ArrangeMe launched in the form of sheet music S&P Press. It was about 10 years ago, it was 9 years ago.
That's right. I think it was 2014 because I just graduated.
Yeah, Sheet Music Plus, an independent company at the time, approached Hal Leonard and said, "Hey, what if we do this copyrighted titles sub-licensing with you all? Will you give us 1,000 songs to make available for anybody to do any kind of arrangement they want?" And Hal Leonard's were like, "Sure, let's try it out." And that was about 10 years ago. And so if you would have asked whoever had that idea at S&P back then, Sheet Music Plus back then, what they saw,
I hope they got a raise too.
I know. I don't even know if they're around still. But no, I think it would be impossible to ask them what they thought it would look like in 10 years. I mean, maybe you get close, but yeah, I can't imagine what this might look like in 10 years. And I want to be able to be open and flexible to deliver what might be in front of us and what opportunities we might get that we didn't have any clue about. At this point in time, maybe a year, 18 months, 5 years from now. So it's exciting, man. I think you're right. I think it might be a disservice to try to play that far because nobody's got a crystal ball. It continues to change and evolve.
With that in mind, could you comment on how Hal Leonard, or I guess Muse now,
Hal Leonard, yeah,
Muse Hal Leonard, Muse Leonard.
I don't think that's right.
We'll workshop that.
Hal Leonard, a Muse company. I think that's the official line.
So how does Hal Leonard, a Muse company, look at ArrangeMe? Is it an experiment? Is it the future?
No.
Is it just another product in their large family of products?
It is one program among many, but it is one of the most exciting, I would say, internally. We get a lot of love, man, internally. I know the Muse folks are excited about it. There's some really, really interesting conversations happening right now. There's a lot of nuts and bolts conversations happening right now too. We're still, gosh, we're only months into this, right? So, still kind of trying to navigate, the merging of these two juggernaut companies, really, and trying to figure out how all this works to move forward. And there's been a lot of great things happen already. As time moves on, the fruits of that labor are going to, become more and more evident. And I'm personally excited about it. I'm excited about ArrangeMe. It's certainly not going anywhere. We're pressing forward, and I think there's real genuine excitement moving forward for the program as a whole.
How has the Muse acquisition affected your department? Has the day-to-day changed at all? Is there a new, I mean, what's that been like from your perspective?
From my seat, it's not been too disrupting. We did add the catalog to subscription services back in the spring, and so I think that's probably the biggest thing that's happened since the merger. But the day to day hasn't really changed much. We've got a lot of stuff that we've got planned, a lot of features to add, a lot of interesting things to kind of get into, and of course we're constantly trying to figure out how to gain new quality users and get the very best copyrighted material that we can to offer, and it's a lot to do. So we're just going to keep going at it until they tell us to quit, man, which I don't see happening like ever, really, but certainly not anytime soon.
Yeah, let's dig in a little bit to the subscription services that have recently been added.
Sure.
I have a lot of mixed feelings about this generally, some of which I have shared with you, but
Yeah.
I do think right off the bat, it's important to say that y'all have been going about doing it the right way, I think.
Appreciate that.
And what I mean by that, you give people the option to not participate if they don't
Yeah.
feel like it.
Yeah.
And I also think, and this is the big thing, you actually say like what the royalty split is, right? I think that's one of the issues with Spotify and streaming audio is that there's all of this sort of murky,
Yeah.
behind closed doors, like
Mm-hmm.
calculations of the payouts. And at least from what I'm able to tell, there's a much more transparent sort of accounting method behind it. As you kind of alluded to, I think it's fair to say it's sort of in the experimental phase, but what are your thoughts on the reasoning behind it? What are the hopes? I mean, if it's an experiment, like what does success look like?
A great question. Well, first of all, the big publishers have been doing this for years. Sheet Music Direct Pass has been a program that's been around a number of years. Kind of, I like to say the word streaming, but a sheet music subscription service in S&D Pass, Sheet Music Direct Pass, has been around for a long time. And Sony, Universal, BMG, all these companies have been really great with having sheet music of their copyrights available through a subscription service for folks to have access to, just like Spotify Premium or Apple Music, So it's certainly not taking sales away from PDFs, downloads or whatever on the whole. As far as I know, it's truly a revenue add situation. It's a different way to consume that copyright and that piece of sheet music for folks that are willing to, again, pay into the service to be able to have access to it. So beyond that, man, it's another way to get your stuff in front of people. And you can't download it, you can't print it, and why would you want to? That's not what it's about. You and I've discussed, if I'm a choral director, I'm not going to try to get to work at a system where I'm like passing around my iPad, that has the one copy or whatever. It's like if I'm a choral director, I'm going to use Sheet Music Direct Pass or a sheet music subscription service as a way to preview a chart where I can see the whole thing and make a more informed buying decision. Same with like the concert band chart or whatever. Until there are iPads in every single rehearsal room, for every single singer or player, that mode of delivery for players on an ensemble level doesn't make a whole lot of sense. It's really more for individuals or maybe like a quartet where everybody's got their own subscription where they're playing off their iPad. So that's a roundabout way of saying it's value add. It's a new way to get your music in front of eyeballs that will pay for the privilege to see it, play it, consume it.
I have been impressed, surprised, excited by the expansion to a variety of different platforms. That has been, I think, unexpected. Just
Yeah.
in my experience working with the program, especially how fast it's come on. I mean,
Hmm.
there's already what SMD, SMP, Noteflight, in store, the Muse website,
Hmm. Hmm.
SMD Pass. I'm
Yeah.
probably, I mean, that's six right there. I'm probably missing some. I do think every time a new thing is added, there's sort of this freak out that happens
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
users.
Yeah.
And
That's natural. It's different. Change is hard.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I also think like if you're somebody that's serious about publishing, you have to jump on board with this stuff because if you look at what all of the other publishers are doing, they are blanketing the internet with their music.
Yep.
I mean, they're
Yep.
putting it on every kind of website physically known to man, probably some
Yep.
that are unknown to men, right?
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I do wonder though, like, is there a certain point where the amount of music out there just makes it all sort of untenable? I mean, this is deep philosophical, big picture industry stuff, right? But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I mean, but we're talking about millions and millions of songs, and if all of the songs are available everywhere, like at what point does
Yeah.
that become counterproductive?
Well, man, I tend to view this as again, the cream rises to the top. If you're doing really great work, if you're focusing on the main thing, which is writing great charts, putting your artistry into those charts, carving out your voice, and you're doing some work to market it, making connections, trying to get your stuff played in front of people, I truly believe that's going to be rewarded in sales, exposure, views, whatever. You can't put up 10 charts and leave them and expect to make a ton of sales and commissions. I mean, you just can't do that. You've got to kind of fun. You've got to work at it, just like anything. There's no get rich quick schemes. Not that anyone's ever getting rich in as a sheet music arranger or publisher. Um, but you know what I mean. There's a passion about this that if you're focused on the right stuff, you're going to find success. Success is, I mean, honestly, whatever you're looking to get out of it. But if you're looking for sustained sales over a period of time, that takes work and commitment to, and it starts with your virtual pen on paper and doing good quality creative work, because that's gonna rise above folks that are just kind of phoning it in, or not caring about how the sheet music looks, or whatever. So we've had that conversation before of you can have a great chart, but if it doesn't look good or if it's illegible, it's not going to sell, and vice versa. If you've got a beautiful chart that looks amazing and it's just not good, it's not well written, you've got parallel fifths everywhere, and all these like arranging faux pas, then they might buy it once, but they're not going to buy anything else. So
You've just
um,
offended the parallel fifth community. They've all
listen,
unsubscribed. Thank you
I
for
love
that.
parallel fifths, man. If it sounds good to you, do it. Not in a choir though.
um, do you have any insight into the world of AI and how that's going to come into play within sheet music?
Man, that's a great question. I think it's an incredibly powerful tool. But at the end of the day, it's not creating. It's only as good as what is out there already. Does that make sense? Right?
Yeah.
Um, Humans create. We create things, and we find new ways to do it. AI has gotten really good at doing a lot of the things that some people do, but at the end of the day, man, there's that sort of spark that we have as human beings that I don't know that AI can ever really recreate. So I try not to worry about it too much. Focus on the main stuff, doing good work, and finding your voice and practicing and writing as much as you can to get as good as you can. AI will take care of itself, but I imagine there's tools that will come about that will help us to that end. I mean, I've heard some of the AI voices stuff where they're selling different voices like Garrett or Kyle or Brittany or Jessica, and you can buy the voice just like a plug-in. You throw it into your DAW, and you can spin up a pretty convincing demo of a choral chart that a live singer never even touched. You know, he can program it, and that's pretty amazing. So you know, but Henry Ford invented the manufacturing line, right? So that changed the industry too. And here we are. You know, we figure it out. We figure out new, interesting ways to contribute to the landscape. So yeah, trying to be positive about it. That's what I'm trying to say.
What is the name of the Muse Hal Leonard AI bot?
Hey, I didn't know there was one. Are you breaking news
I
again
mean,
on this podcast?
I mean, I don't want to get you fired, but well, okay. So the AI thing is interesting to me, and I promise this has a point. I think my first reaction was, oh, they're going to, just write us all out of business, right?
That's
But
the knee
there's
jerk reaction. Yeah, yeah,
but there's already, I mean, we've already sort of hit critical mass in music, right? I mean, there's already millions and
yeah,
millions of titles and arrangements out there.
yeah.
But the interesting thing that I've kind of been thinking about is just how AI is getting more involved in like the search processes for Google and
Mm,
social media
sure.
and those sort of aggregate sites.
Yeah,
If AI is how people are going to be finding their music or shopping for their music, then that puts a whole different spin on it that I'm not sure we're quite ready for as an industry.
yeah, yeah. I see that.
And kind of piggybacking on that, in the last couple of years, when the ArrangeMe website got launched and the
Hmm.
new S&P website got launched, both times that happened, the search engines went haywire. I mean, sales plummeted, everything fell apart.
Yeah,
In fairness to them, once it recovered, sales were higher than they were
yeah,
before. But it was clear
yeah.
that something happened when the websites got refreshed or reloaded or
Hmm.
whatever the technical term is. Like the engines forgot their own name. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know if you have a more technical explanation of what happened.
I
Um,
don't,
oh,
man. I don't. That's all like way over my head. I'm a publisher. I'm not a ones and zeros guy. I'm a
yeah.
song guy, man. I don't know anything about programming. I do know that as far as the She Music Plus refresh, or re-platform, I suppose technically was what it was. It was building a new foundation to make it better than what it ever could have been before on some outdated technology. So again, things change, things evolve, man. There's an end of life for some things. You've got to evolve and adapt and do the best you can, and hopefully you make it better in the long run. So there's some hiccups along the way, and that's going to happen. Nothing's perfect, buddy. Nothing's perfect. So that's the one thing I've taken away from really this role is nothing is ever as easy as it seems, and exponentially more difficult than you could possibly imagine. And then there's room for error, and sometimes things don't go the way you plan, and you've got to be able to pivot and adapt. And yeah, just be patient and trust the process. So that's all I
Yeah.
can speak to on that.
Well, and like I said, once everything got finally reset, like sales went up, but there was that
Right?
transition
Yeah.
period where things kind of
Sure.
tanked, and
Yeah.
it
Growing
sort
pains,
of,
man.
well,
Yeah.
and it just made it clear to me how dependent we are on those tools,
Sure.
how
Sure.
dependent we are on search engines and
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and websites and all of that. I mean, it's just
Indeed.
interesting to think about. And I don't know if you have thoughts on this, but I feel like the need to sort of keep an eye on your own titles after they're launched has become more important than it has been, or I don't know, but I guess I've in the past assumed that once something was uploaded that I could kind of stop thinking about it, and then
Yeah.
I'll stumble across a piece months later that's
Hmm.
missing an element that I thought I had added,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
not displaying the way that I thought. And so I guess
Sure.
what I'm getting at is, do you have advice
Yeah.
on how to maintain the existing catalog while continuing to add new stuff to it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it's all part of being an engaged self-publisher. The set it and forget it mindset is that's a choice. But the most successful folks at this are not obsessing, but they are checking in. So I've got a pretty small catalog myself, and by and large things look fine. They're always fine. But I'm not obsessing over my personal catalog because I'm too busy helping everybody else's be successful. So I just trust that if something happens, it's going to get fixed. And every now and again, I will look at well, really, when I add a new title, that's when I kind of spot check my stuff, and I know more than, probably better than anybody what the nuances are. And I'm just not worried about it because we got great teams at the retail sites. That's typically where things break is at the retail level, where something's not connecting properly with ArrangeMe source of truth to be, for lack of a better term. So it's complicated, man. It's got to go to space. It's ones and zeros. So let's.
Okay, two questions. How many pieces are we up to so far with ArrangeMe? And number two, how many satellites does it take to get those launched?
The number of titles you can check out any time if you go to Sheet Music Direct and type in the word ArrangeMe. And I think we're up to it's over 800,000 different assets right now. And the satellite question, I have no idea. I mean, like we're going to space and back just right now. So I don't know, extrapolate that.
Everything's in space.
That's right.
I'd like to get better insight into the Sheet Music Plus, Sheet Music Direct relationship. And
sure.
Because they market music differently, they display the music differently. There's things that I'll see in one website search results that I don't see in another, and vice versa. Yeah. And going back to this idea of managing the catalog, like what do you think is the best way to approach that?
It's a good question. Well, let me first start just with some general stats, man. So just from a program standpoint, ArrangeMe revenue has grown 50% over the last 2 years. Okay. That growth, Sheet Music Direct has seen exponential growth just from that channel because we added all that stuff from the S&P Press program, when we did the migration a number of years ago. We're flirting with 70,000 active members. And like you just said, there's over 800,000 separate assets, titles that have been uploaded that are part of the program. So pretty big. All of that is at both Sheet Music Direct and Sheet Music Plus, like you said, for, now we have to distinguish pay per download PDF files or audio if you're doing audio files. But yeah, it's by and large a PDF sheet music business, right? The differences between the two sites are not massive. I mean, at the end of the day, they're both sheet music retailers, but the approach is the angle is coming from a different angle. Sheet Music Direct was the very first digital sheet music retailer in the world. I think they launched in 1998, and by Hal Leonard. It's a Hal Leonard company, always has been, always will be. And so it's digital only. That's it. There's no physical product. It's a digital arm of Hal Leonard Publications, which now includes all the ArrangeMe titles, which are also digital only. Sheet Music Plus started as a physical print music company. So I think early on they billed themselves as the Amazon of sheet music. So they've got deals with everybody around the world, distributing physical sheet music, everything from Roger Emerson's latest choral title in physical print and also digital now, but to like some obscure German, music theory textbook that's only available, in Berlin or something. They have access to all that stuff. And the ArrangeMe program started at Sheet Music Plus, as we know, and for the longest time, that was the only digital music available through sheetmusicplus.com. So they're more of a physical print, traditionally focused with a lot of different vendors, and Hal Leonard is just one vendor through sheetmusicplus.com, whereas Sheet Music Direct, Hal Leonard is the only vendor because it's their own website. So that's the best way I can explain the difference. Now, as an ArrangeMe self-publisher, how do I fit in both of those ecosystems, right? Both of those websites. So at the end of the day, it's very, very similar. I'm a sheet music customer. I'm looking for X title in this format, and I want to make sure that I can be able to buy it easily and quickly and be able to play it tonight or whatever. And both sites will serve that purpose for sure. It's just a different way to get there. So another difference is Sheet Music Direct Pass. That's what Sheet Music Direct offers that Sheet Music Plus doesn't. Because it's a digital site, Sheet Music Direct has this Pass subscription program where you can sign up, pay your yearly fee or monthly fee, and you can have access to all the sheet music that's available through Sheet Music Direct for just that fee, and be able to consume as much of it as you want through your iPad. Great for like a piano bar karaoke player, just playing from an iPad, getting requests. I mean, that's it's over 2 million songs I think they have now, and nearly half of that is ArrangeMe titles, right? So there's a real compelling reason to have your stuff at Sheet Music Direct in addition to Sheet Music Plus, because again, it's just a different customer type.
How America centric is this? Like, are most of the users in the United States? Are most of the sales in the United States?
Yeah, man, the U.S. populates the majority of ArrangeMe users. I will say it is truly a global program. I mean, a significant percentage of folks are in Europe, Australia, Japan, Asia, South America. It truly, ArrangeMe is everywhere, everywhere across the globe. Anywhere the sun is shining right now, this second, there's an ArrangeMe member that is an active user. So that's pretty cool, pretty exciting.
Are all of the retailers available overseas as well? Or is there like a European counterpart to SMD? Sometimes there's separate, like
Sheet Music Direct, Sheet Music Plus, both worldwide global reach. There's a site called musicroom.com in Europe, the UK, that Hal Leonard owns as well. That's just a Europe site, but ArrangeMe stuff is not available through that channel. SMD, SMP, which just say Sheet Music Direct, Sheet Music Plus, both worldwide global digital retailers. You can buy it from anywhere. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Well, and even just looking at my royalty statements, there's a lot of sales from various countries all over the place.
Sure.
It's really cool to see.
Somebody posted about getting a sale from Croatia recently. That's really exciting when you get sales from different parts of the world. It's a shot in the arm, man. It's really nice.
So to kind of circle back and wrap things up, now that you've been in the job for 2 years.
Almost 3, Garrett.
Almost
July 1st
3.
will be 3 years. Yeah, how about that?
Oh, you made me feel old.
You.
All right, so you've been in the job almost 3 years now. What has been the thing that's surprised you the most about it? And has the advice that you would give to aspiring composers changed at all during that time, as you've gone through all of these developments and experienced so many different interactions with composers? Like, has your perspective changed at all?
I don't think so. Garrett, I've been in this business, 25 years now, almost. And I say this a lot. At the end of the day, you've got to create good work. You've got to be a good writer to have success, to move copies. And focusing on that craft is always going to be important, like the most important. The job after that is marketing and getting the word out, and carving out kind of your niche, which is informed by the work you're doing. But I came into this job with that perspective and kind of that wholehearted belief, and it remains true. And I've seen it proved out over and over and over and over again. The folks that are the most successful are they're taking it seriously, but not focusing on nickels and dimes or anything. But they're taking their work seriously. I've got an idea for arrangement. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it as well as I can. I'm going to publish it. And I'm going to tell people about it. It's kind of that simple. And then let the rest take care of itself, because then you focus on moving on to the next good chart and telling people about that good chart. So something that surprised me, I think it has to do with getting the word out. It's a real interesting dichotomy between we've grown like crazy since I started almost 3 years ago. Like like I said, we've grown 50%, and we've more than doubled our users that are active since I've come on. That's not necessarily, to me, it's a testament to the program and how good it is and how appealing it is. But I think the thing that surprised me is that it's still kind of a secret, to a lot of people in the business, that people, there's people that can really take advantage of this that just have no idea about it. And I've tried lots of ways. We've tried lots of ways to get the word out, and found some success here and in some certain ways. And at the end of the day, man, it's word of mouth. That's what I found is the very best way to grow it. So if you love the program, listener, gang, please tell a friend, tell somebody that has a gift in this area. And we always want additional quality arrangers and composers. We could spend money on ads and stuff, and we can get a bunch of, fake signups that mean nothing. I don't care about that number. I care about active quality participants, sellers, self-publishers that are willing to do good work. And when you're successful, we're successful. As simple as that.
Well, thank you for coming on the show, and thank you for all the work that you do to support composers and arrangers. I've said this before, but I think the ArrangeMe family, and the ArrangeMe program is a model for a lot of other publishers and distributors to look at and to learn from. So I appreciate the work that you're doing in that field, and excited to see what you come up with in the next 2 years.
Thanks, man. Yeah, I think you said it well. ArrangeMe family, we think of it as a community for sure, and we work really hard to cultivate the ArrangeMe community and be conversational and provide as much support and help as possible to be successful. So thanks for noticing. Thanks for the encouragement. Thanks for your personal contribution and this podcast, man. I'm thrilled for you. This is a great piece of media that I personally consume on the reg.
Yes.
So
there we go.
Yeah, if you have any interest in sheet music or selling sheet music, hey, there's a title. You're doing great work, brother. So I appreciate the support, man. And
clip that, go viral.
Yeah. It's an unpaid ad. Yeah. Thanks, Garrett. I appreciate you having me on, man. Sky's the limit.
Take care. Talk to you soon.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Selling Sheet Music. If you like the show, please leave us a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can email Garrett at breezetunes.com to get in touch with me, and you can find my music at garrettbreeze.com. Selling Sheet Music is written, produced, and hosted by me, Garrett Breeze. Post-production for this episode was done by Jacob Mulaski, and our theme music was written by myself and David Dykstra. I'll see you next week. Now go write something.